Welcome to this episode of Automotive Insiders. I'm your host, Jason Stein. Great to have you back listening again with us on this platform. In this episode, we sit down with Kent Jones, the newly appointed CEO of Accuride Corporation, a key supplier in the commercial vehicle industry with deep expertise in steel and aluminum wheels. Just 6 weeks into the job, Kent shares his perspective on the company's post-restructuring rebound, why durability and lightweight design are more essential than ever, the growing influence of EVs in heavy-duty segments, and why aesthetics and performance now go hand in hand for today's fleet buyers. We also dive into some emerging technologies. Plus, Kent gives us an unfiltered take on workforce development, the return of U.S. manufacturing, and why commercial vehicle careers are more high-tech than ever. As the industry heads toward electrification, autonomy, and connected technologies, Accuride is staying grounded in the fundamentals: safety, strength, and smart innovation. This is Automotive Insiders, and my guest today is Kent Jones. Well, Kent, it's great to have you on the program. Welcome in.
Thanks, Jason. Glad to be here.
Let's talk a little bit about the positioning of the company. There's a lot of changes in trailer and wheel design trends. Walk us through a little bit about what you're focused on as it relates to maybe the future of commercial.
Yeah, for sure. So I joined Accuride really just 6 weeks ago, and so super happy to be with this great brand that's participated in the commercial vehicle market for quite some time. And I've spent my entire career in the commercial vehicle industry, working for some other great brands, like Delco Remy and TRW-ZF, and most recently SAF Holland. So I know the marketplace quite well, learning about this great company. The company has recently gone through a financial restructuring, which was difficult, but which separated some European business and separated a foundry business. But the core business that Accuride's been known for decades has been the commercial vehicle aluminum and steel wheels, and that core portion of this business has been very good. It's a large market share player in this market space, and it's good to see this company continue to operate. It's got new ownership. It's got a lot of investment that's coming into the business, and a lot of the themes that we see happening. Customers are still very much interested in lightweighting of the vehicle, of continuing to support fuel economy and efficiency. Of course, reliability and strength is always important with a safety item like a wheel. You could never have a failure there on a commercial vehicle relative to a wheel, and Accuride's performance standards on that side are so impressive. But you do see some. I mean, while it's small, the emergence of the electric vehicles that are happening in the commercial vehicle space, although still very low levels of a 1 or 2% market share, those vehicles are heavy, and the battery packs in those vehicles are requiring wheel designs that are structurally more sound to help with tire wear, and that's an important thing that I think the industry is learning relative to the emerging electric vehicles and medium duty trucks and Class 8 trucks as well.
And a focus really on durability, if I understand it right, Kent. You don't want to sacrifice performance, but you really want to make sure that there are durable components.
Yeah, for sure. A wheel is generally one of those things that people don't want to think about. It can and should last the life of a vehicle like the frame rail should, unless it's damaged in an accident or a curb or some a flat tire that degrades the wheel. But then during the life of that wheel, you want a steel wheel not to rust. So Accuride's got premier coatings that many fleet customers want to spec and say, hey, I want the Accuride's steel coatings, and we're always continuing to upgrade those to be able to adapt to aggressive road salts and such. And then on the aluminum side, there's an aesthetic appearance to that. A lot of people buy aluminum for weight, but they also want to buy it because it makes their truck look better. And certain brands of trucks are very commonly purchased for good look. So how well does that aluminum polish? Does it look like a mirror? And how well does it clean? Aluminum can exhibit corrosion in the marketplace. Accuride is developing, we think, the best coating in the industry. It's coming out right now. We got a CapEx investment going on called ProShield XGT, Extreme Gloss Technology, that basically can clean with soap and water some of the most aggressive elements out there. In fact, the coating is so good on this product that we couldn't even get our label to stick to it, as an example. So that was kind of, we had to come up with a new adhesive to be able to. So those are examples of how we're helping fleet customers in the marketplace, continue to perform well with that lowest running cost per mile with Accuride wheels.
Can you talk about some key innovations that you're seeing or maybe even leading in the wheel and braking systems? I know there's a lot of talk of smart sensors, and obviously you've already talked about lighter materials, but what are the innovations that Accurite's trying to bring to the market?
Yeah, for us, in the previous company that had a larger wheel in component relative to hubs and to drums, and unfortunately that part has now exited our business. But in the wheel technology, light weighting of the wheel is probably the biggest component that we can participate into. How light can you get the wheel where you still will have the durability? I mean, we can make the wheel much lighter for a show truck, but it needs, wheels have to last a lifetime, and they have to be able to stand, millions of cycles of fatigue. That's important. There's a low level of development that has happened, and not hasn't been ready yet for commercial, even for taking carbon fiber wheels into the commercial vehicle market. We've done some you see carbon fiber in racing technologies, and you see carbon fiber in high performance automotive applications, Corvette or Porsche or those types of designs. There's a further additional lightweighting. The technology hasn't been validated yet, but it's having been with the company a short amount of time and taking tours through our laboratory environments, it's interesting to see that we've participated in that. And who knows if further lightweighting is required, that could be an active technology. And, we know there's other players in the marketplace as well that are working on that.
We talk a lot in this program, Kent, about workforce strategies and long-term talent retention. I know that's probably top of mind for you as it relates to apprenticeships or upskilling programs, maybe investing in culture. Can you talk a little bit about what you're trying to achieve there in terms of personnel?
Yeah, there's multiple layers to that. That we constantly have to work on. I mean, we are an industrial manufacturing company. I mean,
Right.
we forge aluminum, and we weld steel, and big, heavy industrial jobs. And so as generations have changed, and many younger people have going into different kinds of technology, or even work from home jobs. You can't do that if you're making aluminum wheels in an aluminum forging. You got to be there. You got to show up. You got to work. So, trying to attract younger technology to help, or younger people, to be able to explain to them that, in many cases, we are high tech industry as well. Manufacturing can be very high tech. And, this fits in general with a lot of with what the Trump administration is trying to bring manufacturing back to this company. We've always been a good manufacturing company for decades. So of course that starts at the top. I think Accuride's been a great brand, as I've been able to assess. We have a tremendously talented team that's worked for the company for a long time, very dedicated, very honest. Working in the good heart of the Midwest, and a very prolific factory that we have in Mexico, supporting our customers there as well. But we're always very open with free flow of information about our company. I think that's important. I think it's treating employees honestly about what's the status of the company, what can they do to help, putting it to them. And then if you go down, one layer further, in our communities, which we operate manufacturing operations that are not in large metropolitan areas. We really have to be a good citizen in the local area. Those local apprenticeships that we want to do with welders, robot technicians, those are quite important, and being able to draw people into a manufacturing environment, good paying jobs, good benefit packages, that goes a long way. Treating employees in a very fair way, and of course, more than anything, keeping them safe, in these industrial manufacturing environments.
So let's talk about one final thing. Kent, what excites you most about the future of commercial transportation from your vantage point? We have the MEMA OE CV outlook coming up on August 26th, but with that focus on commercial transportation, where do you think the opportunities are, and where are probably the biggest advances?
Yeah, I've worked in. I'm absolutely biased in my answer here. I've worked in this commercial vehicle industry literally my entire career. I made a decision as an engineering co-op student quite a few years ago when I was asked by the HR guy of, "Hey, do you want to go work in this automotive business unit, or do you want to work in this commercial vehicle business unit?" And I made a decision to say, "Hey, I want to." So as a 17-year-old, I set my path to go to work in commercial vehicle. And a couple 2 or 3 jobs later, I'm still operating in the same industry. So I think manufacturing is a great place to be and to work. I think it's going to get stronger over the next years with the refocus of our country back to manufacturing environment. Doesn't mean that tech or pharmaceuticals are also aren't great careers, but young people want to run into the commercial vehicle space. I think it's a great place to work. We do have high tech within our industry. We do have electric vehicles. We do have autonomy. You can participate at multiple, but we also have supply chain, and of course, you can make a career of finance in ours as well. But the technology in our space is very good. I mean, is very high. These vehicles and the smart technology that's coming through networking and telematics. These vehicles are, presenting information to the fleet operators in an incredible way, and that extends itself to the trailer as well. So when you look at the big mega trends that come in automotive space, starting with manufacturing and then in automotive, of electrification, autonomy, and digital, all of those absolutely exist in the commercial vehicle space as well. These very large trucks and trailers that are running down the highway are hauling about 90% of the freight of our entire economy. You can't move products without trucks. I mean, you really can't 3D print everything you need at home, and the services that you buy. You still got to get products to your local stores or delivered to your door. And trucks and trailers in the commercial vehicle market does that. It is an exciting industry. It'll be around a long period of time. Maybe some of the power technologies change from combustion engines to hydrogen or fuel cell or electric, but that truck trailer combo is going to be around for a long time. It's a great business to build a career in, and it has it's very much all the subsectors of technology that you see in other industries as well. So it's an exciting place. It has been a great career for me.
Driving a safer, more efficient future for freight and logistics. Kent Jones, thank you so much for joining me on the program. And again, I want to encourage registration for August 26th, MEMA OE CV Outlook. Thank you for joining me, Kent.
Thank you.
That's this episode of Automotive Insiders. Thanks again to my guest, Kent Jones. Come back to more conversations on this platform and check out our library of interviews on your favorite podcast platform. I'm your host, Jason Stein. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again next time.